Good morning, students. Today we are going to again continue the last video of this chapter 2, microorganisms friend and foe. By this we will be finishing off with our chapter 2. Today we are going to discuss food poisoning, a small topic on food poisoning, food preservation and nitrogen cycle. So we'll get started with food poisoning. Food poisoning, what is food poisoning? Microorganisms that grow on our food sometimes produce toxic substances which are harmful for our health. These make the food poisonous, causing serious illness and even death. So the microorganisms which grow on food, they are producing some poisonous substances. Okay, and we may fall ill if we consume that food which is contaminated by the microbes. Now, this food poisoning can give you symptoms like, pain in abdomen, vomiting, diarrhea, fever, headache. These are all the symptoms of food poisoning. So, to be aware from the food poisoning, we should know how to preserve the food. Food preservation is very important to avoid this food poisoning. So, now let us see how to preserve the food. So there are some methods of food preservation. Now that is what we are going to see. Now, first of all, what do you mean by food preservation? The process by which spoilage of food is prevented using chemical or physical methods is called food preservation. The most common methods used for food preservation are as follows. So now we will be discussing few methods by which you can preserve your food, or in the factories or industries, how you are getting the food preserved, how they do that. We are going to see that now in these methods of food preservation. First method is chemical method. Food can be preserved by using certain chemical substances which can check the growth of microorganisms called chemical preservatives. If you have seen the ingredients of the things that you buy, okay, that is there's a packet of your chips, or a packet of any item, jams or squashes. If you read the ingredients page, you might see there are some chemical names given there, like sodium benzoate, sodium metabisulfite, or hydrogen peroxide. So, or there are some numbers starting with E607 or E703. So these are the chemical preservatives which are used, okay, to preserve these our daily life consuming food that we use. Okay, so here sodium benzoate and sodium metabisulfite are common preservatives used to preserve jams, jellies, squashes, etc. So this is one of the method. Another method, common methods, these method that you see, it is common method which is used in our home also, like preservation by common salt. Meat and fish are covered with dry salt to check the growth of bacteria. Salting is also used to preserve amla, raw mangoes, tamarind, etc. Now, here the salt is used to preserve the food because it reduces the moisture content in the food, and it prevents the growth of microbes. Okay, so these microbes, their favorable condition to multiply themselves is this moisture condition. So if you avoid that moisture condition, they will not be growing there, right? So salt is used for this purpose only, to reduce the moisture content. Same manner with sugar also. Like preservation by sugar, jams, jellies and squashes are preserved by sugar. Now what this sugar does, the same as salt only. Sugar reduces the moisture content, which inhibits the growth of bacteria which spoil food. So sugar is again reducing the moisture content, which is one of the favorable condition for the microorganisms to grow and multiply. So this sugar and salt reduces that moisture condition. Same with oil and vinegar also. That is our next method, preservation by oil and vinegar. Oil and vinegar prevent spoilage of pickles because bacteria cannot live in such an environment. Vegetables, fish, and meat are also preserved by this method. Nowadays, you know that we are when we buy vegetables or fruits, we wash it in vinegar thing, or because to avoid the microorganisms or the virus now that we fear is coronavirus, which should not be found on these vegetables and fruits. For that, we wash it in vinegar, or these nowadays that is vegetable washing, disinfectants are also there. So we use that so that these viruses don't live in such a condition. Okay, they don't live in that conditions. Another method, heat and cold treatments. So heating and cooling also prevents the growth of microorganisms. Heating kills many microorganisms and prevents the food from spoilage. Same manner, cooling or freezing prevents the spoilage of food because it retards the growth of microorganisms. Means it does not allow the growth of microorganisms. Now, based on this heat and cold treatments only, one of our scientists, that is Louis Pasteur, who had discovered fermentation also, he discovered this another method, that is pasteurization. He had used this heat and cold treatment. Okay, so now there is the next method, pasteurization. Now, what is it? It is a process for preservation of milk. We preserve milk by doing pasteurization that we get in the packets, that is pasteurized milk that we are getting. Now, what is happening in this method? In this method, milk is heated at about 70 degrees centigrade for 15 to 30 seconds and then suddenly chilled. Chilled, that means from 70 degrees centigrade, it is suddenly brought down to 10 degrees centigrade. Okay, suddenly it is chilled and stored. By doing so, it prevents the growth of microbes. By doing so means when you're heating, at that time some of the microorganisms are killed, and then when you cool it, again the microorganisms which are left over, that also will be cannot grow in that condition. So that is why we do both heating and cooling in this pasteurization process. So this process was discovered by Louis Pasteur. Okay, now next method is, this last method for food preservation is storage and packing. How you store your food, that also is very important. How is the packing of the food done when you before you buy it? That is also important in preventing the growth of microbes. Many food items are sold in sealed airtight packets to prevent the attack of microbes. So here we are getting the object in such a sealed packet wherein air also cannot enter, because if air enters along with it, microorganisms will also enter. So to avoid the entry of air, we are packing it as airtight packets. So like we are creating the vacuum inside the packet so that the microorganisms cannot grow or cannot enter over there. So these are the methods of food preservation. This is how Louis Pasteur had, in his time, he had discovered this pasteurization process. Then this is the another and fermentation process. He had discovered that this is the man behind pasteurization and fermentation process, Louis Pasteur. And this is the modern day pasteurization method with all the equipments, modern day equipments that is used to pasteurize the milk. Okay, so this is the pasteurization process. So this was all under food preservation. Now, next topic, a small topic is there, that is nitrogen fixation, which we have already done in our increasing soil fertility. Same thing only. The process of converting nitrogen gas of atmosphere into compounds of nitrogen is called nitrogen fixation. Here you are the microorganisms are converting nitrogen gas from the atmosphere into solid, solid compounds of nitrogen like nitrates and nitrites, and that is known as nitrogen fixation, where you are converting the gaseous nitrogen into solid form of nitrogen. Now this nitrogen fixation can be occurred by two ways. The one is lightning, and the other one is by certain nitrogen fixing bacteria or blue green algae present in the soil. For example, you know about rhizobium bacteria, which is present in the root nodules of leguminous plants. So these are the root nodules of leguminous plants where the rhizobium bacteria live. So they are living in this root nodules, this bulb-like structure, and they are converting the atmospheric nitrogen into compounds of nitrogen, and it is supplying to the plants for their better growth. Now, the last topic of our chapter, that is nitrogen cycle. I already discussed this nitrogen cycle, which is converting, which is maintaining the atmospheric nitrogen of our Earth. So, this nitrogen cycle, microorganisms are playing a very important role in maintaining this nitrogen cycle. Now, what is nitrogen cycle and how the microorganisms are helping to maintain it? That is what we are going to see in this topic. Nitrogen cycle. Our atmosphere has 78% nitrogen gas. Okay, our atmosphere, maximum majority of our atmosphere is containing nitrogen gas. Nitrogen is one of the essential components of all living organisms as part of proteins, chlorophyll, nucleic acids, and vitamins. So nitrogen is present in all these things which are used by animals, plants, human beings, right? The atmospheric nitrogen cannot be taken directly by plants and animals. So we need these proteins, nucleic acids, vitamins, but from where we will get it? We cannot take it directly from atmosphere. As we breathe in oxygen, nitrogen cannot be taken directly from the atmosphere. So for that purpose, the microorganisms comes into our help. Certain bacteria and blue-green algae present in the soil fix nitrogen from the atmosphere and convert it into compounds of nitrogen. This is what we saw in the previous slide about rhizobium bacteria. They convert the atmospheric nitrogen into compounds of nitrogen, that is nitrates, NO3, or nitrites, that is NO2. So this is how the process of nitrogen cycle goes on. Like from air, N2, that is nitrogen gas, is fixed into the soil either by lightning or by the nitrogen fixation method, another method, that is by the nitrogen fixing bacteria which is in the soil. So these bacteria convert these nitrogen compounds, that is NH, this is NH3, that is ammonia. It is again converted into NO2 and NO3 by another bacteria known as nitrifying bacteria. So this nitrifying bacteria converts ammonia, that is NH3, into NO2 and NO3. So these nitrates and nitrites are used again by the plants. Also, there are other bacteria which are in the soil. They are known as denitrification bacteria. These denitrification bacteria, what it does is it converts these NO3 and NO2 again back into its gaseous form, that is gaseous nitrogen, and releases it back to the atmosphere. So here there are three types of bacteria you can see in this figure. One is nitrogen fixing bacteria, which fixes the atmospheric nitrogen into the soil in the form of ammonia. And then there are another type of bacteria known as nitrifying bacteria, which actually converts these ammonia into NO3 and NO2. And then there are other bacteria known as denitrification bacteria, which actually converts these NO3 and NO2 into the gaseous nitrogen, that is N2. So there are three types of bacteria there working for maintaining the nitrogen cycle. What is happening now? What is happening in this nitrogen cycle further? Now, animals which is feeding on plants get these proteins and other nitrogen compounds, because now in plants the proteins are present because of the nitrogen that rhizobium bacteria or the other fertilizers have given. That nitrogen is consumed by the plants, and from the plants animals feed them. Now when plants and animals die, bacteria and fungi present in the soil convert the complex nitrogen compounds into simple compounds of nitrogen. That is, complex means ammonia, in the form of ammonia, and then it is converted into simple compounds like NO3 and NO2 to be used by plants again. Certain other bacteria that I showed you about, the denitrifying bacteria, these are certain other bacteria, means the denitrifying bacteria, you have this Nostoc and Anabaena. There are denitrifying bacteria present in the atmosphere, which converts some part of the compounds of nitrogen into nitrogen gas, which goes back into the atmosphere. As a result, the percentage of nitrogen in the atmosphere remains more or less constant. So this is how the nitrogen in the atmosphere is maintained by the action of microorganisms. This is the diagram which is given in your textbook of nitrogen cycle. That is atmospheric nitrogen. It is converted into compounds of nitrogen by nitrogen fixing bacteria and blue green algae, and then another bacteria which converts them into nitrogenous compounds, or by lightning also it can be fixed into the soil. Now from the soil, that is NO3 and NO2 which is present in the soil, it is taken up by the plants, which is again eaten by the animals, and again when the animals die or their fecus, from there again the decomposers which is present in the soil, they again give it convert it back into the simple compounds of nitrogen, that is NO3 and NO2. So there is a small cycle of in the soil also. So small cycle of nitrogen that is maintained in the soil also. And from the soil, some part of the compounds of nitrogen is converted back into gaseous nitrogen by the denitrifying bacteria, which turns the compounds of nitrogen into gaseous nitrogen, which is released back into the atmosphere. So this is the nitrogen cycle that is given in your textbook. So this is how you can see microorganisms are playing a very important key role in maintaining the nitrogen cycle in our atmosphere. So this is it, students. Chapter 2 is over. Thank you very much.